Today's topic is pension protections, whether a public pension in Arizona is subject to protections in both the United States and the Arizona constitutions. I'm Steve Serbalik, and I'm a panel attorney with AsCops in Arizona. As always, this is a topic summary, not legal advice, and some of these issues are factor circumstance specific, but here it goes. The U.S. Constitution says that no state shall pass any law impairing the obligation of contracts. This is known as the Contracts Clause and was one of the few limits on states' powers contained in the original Constitution and not in the amendments like the Bill of Rights or the post-Civil War amendments. This was inserted into the Constitution to prevent states from playing favorites and using their power to interfere with contract rights of different individuals. Over time, this was also heavily interpreted by courts, and when looking at public contracts, federal courts will basically try to answer a four-part test. First, was there a contract? Second, did a state law impair the obligation of the contract? Third, was the impairment substantial? And fourth, was the impairment serving a legitimate public purpose, and was it reasonable and necessary? Now, this creates an interesting issue for lots of states, as depending on where you work, a public pension may not actually be viewed as a contract. But here in Arizona, our Constitution actually makes the answer to the first two questions really clear. Article 29, Section 1 of the Arizona Constitution is the Pension Clause, and it says that membership in a public retirement system is a contractual relationship that's subject to both the Contract Clause and additional protections. Specifically, that public retirement system benefits shall not be diminished or impaired. With this language, recognizing that the pension benefits are a contract, step one is met, and any law diminishing or impairing a public pension benefit would automatically meet step two. So unless there's a state constitutional amendment, this ends the question. Public pension benefits can't be diminished or impaired. But even if there is a state constitutional amendment somehow that tried to drastically diminish public pension benefits, Step 3 of the federal constitutional questions would come into play. If the impairment was substantial, then it would proceed to Step 4. Does the impairment serve a legitimate public purpose, and is it reasonable and necessary? Even here, you may think that an economic hardship situation, a bad economy, would meet this test, but courts have actually held that a bad economy or a cash crunch isn't good enough to meet this strict test. The logic behind these decisions is that the Federal Contract Clause protects actual contracts that people make with public entities, and federal courts have held that states cannot go back on their promises. They cannot impair their own contracts just because it means making tough economic choices. So to summarize, Arizona's public pensions have strong protections, some of the strongest protections in the nation. And even an economic disaster would not be enough to violate the state and federal contract clauses that protect the people who count on the state living up to its end of the bargain. After all, pensions are earned through years and years of services and contributions, so states should pay what they agreed. As a final note, all contract cases look backwards. They look to the agreement made by the parties. But nothing in the Contract Clause prevents states from modifying pension systems for new employees. I know this is a lot, but hopefully it provided you with at least some peace of mind related to public pensions in Arizona. If you have questions about the contract clauses and protections for your pension, please feel free to contact us or leave a comment below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more law enforcement lessons. Videos are published every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. Thanks for watching. I'm Steve Serbalik. Stay safe out there. For another relevant video, click up here. And if you're interested in watching more videos and want notifications, click down here to subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure that you are told anytime a new video is posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.